Well, it's supposed to be like piss that's been like through a filter. So technically, it's like purified piss. Different from when I make a joke about Merc. Merc technically has quote unquote tea, but it's yellow. My one at least comes out blue. Uh, but yeah, like, in the sense of like the UK, I think like if a country like America or Russia or China decide like that they wanted to take out the UK, I think like all those countries probably could. Well, like not even really it could. It'd just be like a when. But like the way I see is like if it's a country like Russia, China, or America, I think they would be more aggressive with it, just because like they know we have nukes, and it's like better to take out a threat before it's like I guess right. So I'm like thinking in the sense of like you know well the thing is like no my politicians even like if something was happening they would kind of go like oh no we'll just talk about it like we don't actually have to do anything about it we'll just talk about it. Yeah, it's basically like, for example, we're having like issues where like we're having to like import a lot of like electric and stuff because like our current systems can't deal with the average like usage. Like for example, we're buying like from uh, it's forget the name of the country, Norway. Like we're buying like a bunch of energy through them because they're making like I think it's like they're mining in like the Northern Sea. Things we could also mine in the Northern Sea, but it's like when it comes to it, like into the like House of Commons, the politicians are kind of like one's talking about making sure energy is more green and better for the planet and stuff like that, and then it's like the other side talking about like the affordability of it being like regular families are struggling to cover for like the cost of things going up, and then like that's kind of getting like sidelined by it coming out into more like benefits, where like benefits are becoming like higher. Like you can get more benefits, which is more money, but it's coming from taxpayer money, which means like people that are working having their taxes cover people that are not working, and you know just we're in like the kind of place we are. There's things like also with how small the UK is. I'm not sure how much like our carbon footprint would be in comparison to like other countries. Like I imagine in, for example, something like China or Russia, like the carbon footprint probably isn't as much of an issue for them. True, but it's also I feel like there'd be like so much like bureaucratic sort of like stuff between the countries that they'll never make a decision. It's like when they tend to like uh for example like even if like there's like a known issue like I remember there was a thing years ago and I think it was like uh it was something like like NATO countries or like NATO itself basically were like messaging country I think it may be Russia or something about like they're making a violation of the or something it was something along those lines and it was like Russia's kind of like what you can no, it's not you can really do. There's also like, for example, in that same parliament, I think drink some of this. Um, in that same like thing, right? They were talking about how like we're paying like Russia a lot of money to have like oil and stuff sent from there to UK, so that it's kind of like we're then funding like Ukraine, for example, as in the country in general. I'm leaving like opinions out of this just because like I know there's like that's a war and it's heated, right? Um, but it's like the UK government is providing aid to Ukraine, but then also giving money to Russia for oil, which doesn't make sense. Like why you would be sending money to a country which you're like against, right? Just like in like a sense thing. I mean, There you go. I switched it from OBS view to Twitch view just in case, like something got auto modded. Uh, is- oh yeah. The thing is, like, when it comes to like, 'cause one of the things Russia is like, I don't know if it's necessarily scared of NATO versus more just like doesn't want like a potential threat. Because the thing is, like, obviously, if all the countries in NATO work together, like with like an obvious threat, it's slightly different. But also, no one wants to cross that line. Like, 'cause no one wants to declare like war against Russia. Because it's like if a NATO country declares war against Russia, like the other NATO countries are kind of scared about getting dragged into it. Especially like in the perspective, like let's say if Poland got dragged into Russia, like a war of Russia, right? England in general doesn't want to get pulled into a war of Russia, so then they would be against Poland trying to invade or trying to attack Russia directly. That's just like in general, right? Because like also when it comes to the countries as well, it's like uh, it's kind of like there's some countries that are just like very much like they like the safety of NATO, but they don't actually want to like be involved in some of the stuff for it. As well as like there's also like some parts of where like people are just kind of like trying to like get into systems where they're not having to pay like NATO and stuff like that. That happens quite a bit, or like if not pay NATO, it's kind of like they rely on someone else to cover the bills. It's kind of like in the EU, you have something like, for example, like Greece is known for this, where like its economy is like kind of like you know, no one looks at Greece's economy and goes, "Oh, that's a good one." What ends up happening, right, is basically, um, like blanking a little bit here. When it comes to uh, like in Europe, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought. So it's like in Europe, well, more particularly the euro. The thing is, it's like because the euro is like in a bunch of different countries, and you get stuff like Greece that has like a really bad stuff. Like Greece's like economy isn't great, so it drives the euro down. They had the same with France as well, where like Germany has to like pay the bills to like keep the euro up. At least like that's what I generally understand it as. Obviously, it's a very like complicated thing. It's it's kind of I like tagged it the word back. Someone like messaged they were back, and I didn't see it a few days. Well, it'd be at this point like a week or two ago. So as I didn't see the message, my thing was like I'll use the word like I'm back or like back. I use the back and I'm back. Technically, I probably should just get rid of like the back one and then leave it to like I'm back. The thing is, like, I do feel that as way as well. Sorry, when it comes to like some of the bots, like some of the bots, like when they stop working, I'm like there going like, why didn't they work? Like some of the bots are very much like finicky in the way they like to work. Like Stream Elements does like the heavy lifting for most of it. Nightbot now doesn't do as much, and then you get like I think it was well, I got bottle rigs, which doesn't do much for Twitch, but I had like to tweak these things, which like uh, depending on like what it was, some of them had to be done with a live stream, and some of it had to be done with uh, you know, so like it can be like done off stream. I was thinking of there's an anime where like this guy, an old man, becomes like androids. I'm not sure if any of you know it. It was pretty popular. It was like a 3D anime, so it originally put me off. But it had like the like old guy where like he like is like a really kind of yeah, he cares about his family, even though his family like kind of shit to him. He just like he vibes with his family just because they're his family, and he like tries to keep the community and stuff. It turns into like an android fighting thing, and then you have like this other guy where like he's a high school student, which basically he went from. I'm sorry, I have a call. Sorry, my nephew was calling there. But yeah, in the anime, it basically this guy basically like goes into a random household, kills the like family, right? And then this girl where like she's crying that her family's just died. He's like, I don't worry about that. Anyway, you said you like One Piece, and like he's like going over. He's like, thank you, BB. My nephew was like asking if he can get for his birthday a basketball. The thing is, like, he's also asking what I got him so far, and I didn't want to tell him that like I got him like I got him like this like kind of like sword that's like like it's a toy sword, but it's like kind of realistic. And I also got him. He asked before about a pocket watch. I don't know why he wanted it, but I got it for him anyway. So I thought I'd just get him like those two, and he's now asked for a basketball. I'm like, that's not gonna be too expensive, so probably. Yeah. On the like anime, I just loved it because like this guy just goes into the random house, murders everyone, and lets like the one girl survive because she's a fan of One Piece. It's like, oh cool, I'm a fan too. Just like they go and like because he starts like asking her like, what her favorite character is and stuff like that. Hopefully. Oh, I like One Piece though. I'm on like episode 800 and something. The thing is, like, when it comes to One Piece, you can, uh, like that is kind of like. But the thing is, he after like killing her little brother, her dad, her mum, goes like into her room, just looking around. She comes back from school, finds him on the stairway. Doesn't even realize yet that like he's like. I can't remember. I think she may have seen her mum dead and then seen him. I can't remember which order it went in or if it was like afterwards. I can't remember if he ended up shooting her in the end. But it's just like it's just like I for example, this like character is just like he goes like sure like, he like takes over like a big screen in like Tokyo and he's like I've decided I'm just gonna kill everyone and he then just like points at his phone and says the word bang and everyone looking at their phone has their head exploded. Yeah. Like I remember, like at the time, like along with One Piece, and asking about like what her favorite character was and stuff. Also asking stuff about like what other like manga they were like any Shonen Jump manga that they particularly liked and stuff like that. From what I remember, anyway. It was a 3D anime, so it originally put me off. Because the thing is with me, I don't really like it when like I can tell I'm looking at a 3D anime. I prefer it where like it's either like the kind of like 3D, but it's been kind of drawn over to make it 2D, but like the 3D's kind of advancing it or like helping like the 2D element. I can't sadly remember that it was very popular when it came out. I probably search it up. I remember like at the time it was like the old guy was like walking his dog as he was like this. That was like the start of it. Um, Like they were like, for example, if they wanted to, they could just like decide to become a nuke as well. Like, as in they could just nuke anything they wanted. So it says it apparently was called Inuyashiki Last Hero. It was like from 2017. Have to get it would be a certain year and you're setting need license if you a pistol. It's a restricted firearm, but certain repeated firearms aren't treated as firearms. Fascinating. The thing is, like, uh, I kind of wish that it would be the same in like the UK. With like us, it's like it depends. So if something's an antique, it won't really affect you being able to have it too much. It's like they either want you to have it like where the gun just doesn't work, like it's a decommissioned gun. And if it's not a decommissioned gun, we have it where you got to like make sure my gun's out in case something decides to hit me. Okay? Uh, there's either like it has to be like a decommissioned gun, uh, or it has to be I'm forgetting like what it's called. Like that replica, but it has to have like an orange tip on it to like identify that it's not real. And then we also have like based off like caliber, power, I guess. So for example, stuff like airsoft guns here, dependent on the power of the airsoft gun, you can have it in the UK. It like all just depends on like a little bit. I forget. I have my belt's broken. Um, I mean, and show you. You could have like sort of like dam like star. So if you want like uh go where like Frankie's a beaver, or you get like Really, like, I was like, look, as I was like going to bed, but I was looking in Frankie's like chat before. I remember like, I was like thinking of like things I know about beavers, and like, I know some random facts about beavers, not too much. But so, big percent. I mean, like with hair, it's like, they kind of like, I've seen stuff like, there was someone who I was like, used to watch as a kid, where he had like a gun where basically they put like cement inside it to like decommission it. Like to make it like unable to fire, they just like filled the like inside of the gun with just like cement. People were hearing like he's like they oh, it's kind of like in England we don't typically have people with guns. Like farmers might have a shotgun, maybe a rifle if you're a hunter, or if you do it for sport. Um, but it's stuff like handguns, ARs, and even like a lot of sniper rifles are really hard to get here. Um, it's like technically speaking, there is like people that have got like Russian like handguns, like old Russian ones from like uh yeah, it's like ones that have like lingered around. But I heard like it costs like an arm and a leg. That's normally the excuse they use here, by the way, for firearms. Like here they'll use the excuse of like, oh, if we make guns impossible to get, that means technically people can't shoot people because you'd have to break the law to get a gun. It's just like I feel like if someone's breaking the law to get a gun, they're probably going to use that said gun to break more laws. Like at least that's like what some of the reasoning behind it tends to be. Right. That's good. I think do when it comes to that, right? Does that like do you have to like do it like per like a weapon, or when you have to like report that you have weapons?
Who's there? Enemy sighted.
Translate it's not like a second person. It looks like it's not. I'm trying to think of it. The thing is, like, I know that Frankie also likes One Piece. So the thing is, like, you could probably like make a reference to Frankie from the One Piece crew. I think that I think that's the like Frankie's further ahead than me in like One Piece. For me, it's like you get certain parts in One Piece that like drag you quite a bit. Like for example, Dressrosa is like a good example of that. I've heard people like say that they're gonna like binge One Piece in like a month, and it's like, oh, that's. I wouldn't recommend trying to like do all of One Piece in a month. It will literally catch up on you really hard. A super. To be honest, actually, though, like, looking that would actually be kind of like, even if you had that as like a sort of like intro, like if you're trying to do like the kind of like his kind of like introduction. Keep forgetting like my belt's broken, so I keep like trying to hover and it's just not working. So, Frankie, are you caught up with One Piece, or are you a bit behind any? Because like occasionally Boca plays like Pirate Warriors Full. Thing is, I think we have beavers in the UK. And then again, like not. Oh, I think the beavers we have in the UK are not native. I'm pretty sure we killed those ones. Also, there's something you may not know. It's a random fact that I know of beavers. Um, Before, when it was like kind of expensive to make vanilla like flavoring, right? The way it used to be done before is there's like glands inside a beaver's like asshole that are very similar to vanilla. Like I think the exact episode I got to was before Luffy actually sees Sanji before the wedding. So the thing is, uh, well, I had like the dress roast a bit. I couldn't remember exactly what episode I was like afterwards, so I kind of watched like the end part of like dress roast going into like where they were on top of the elephant. And the problem also with the way I watch One Piece, it makes it so I forget like big chunks. Cause like I'll have like a massive gap, watch a chunk of episodes, watch other anime, do other things, stuff. They come back, watch another big chunk of anime, like of One Piece, and then it kind of makes it hard to remember like all the characters. There's like odd characters that I can remember like quite vividly, and other ones I can't. But like when Boca was basically doing like Pirate Warriors 4, there was like points where she was talking about like lore of the story, and I'm like they're going like technically this is like lore of the story that like I haven't even got to on some of the bits. Or it's also like in the Pirate Warrior games, it's not like 100% like accurate to what actually is happening in the like actual anime or the manga. Like by the fact that you can become like Whitebeard, fighting like some of the newer like sort of people, or like you know, for example, you could be Whitebeard fighting against like Big Mama. Like again, I'm kind of confused with how things are going so far in like where I'm currently. Um, Basically, it was like Luffy is trying to like get to Big Mom to get to Sanji is where I'm currently at, and then it's like I'm like they're going with it just being like Luffy, sort of, uh, yeah, Nami, uh, and we have Brooke, we have I think it was Chopper as well, all like together. Yeah, it was like Chopper, Nami, Luffy's one group, and then that Tiger guy and Brooke are in another group. Where it's like the last I saw of Brooke and that, they were like sneaking inside one of the Biscuit Warriors, going back to Big Mama's, and then you had Luffy, Nami, and Chopper were in like the woods, just finished off the Biscuit fight against that Biscuit guy. But I was like there going like the fact that you had to go into like Gear Fourth to like defeat that guy. I'm like there going like how does he go from like having to pull out Gear 4 then, and at the same time he had to use Gear 4 against sort of like Doflamingo. I'm like they're going like wait, like scale wise shouldn't like Doflamingo and this guy be on completely different like levels? Like Doflamingo should be able to like serve this like biscuit guy in 2 seconds. I guess like it matters a little bit on like, so I know there also is like a thing that lists the different characters in One Piece on like their like strength and stuff, and like how strong they would be in general. It's like you also had like they used to use I think it was guano, or something like whale. Was it whale sick as well? I feel like for perfumes. But I learned of the fact of the beavers, right? Of like the sort of scent glands at the back. I was watching. There's a YouTube channel called Inside where they were basically dissecting a beaver. Uh, they're dissecting a beaver in front of like a group, a bunch of people, and they were like going over like the different body parts. And also, like when it does come to like One Piece in general, technically I do get kind of spoiled by stuff because I tend to watch like a lot of those lore videos. It's just like I think of like, so obviously like Luffy's really strong, but like if he's not getting like, you know, there's like being strong and then there's like being able to like last long enough to actually survive a lot of like the issues that they're going against. But he's like that was one of like my things. Like the world just flashed from me. I can keep making them. True. The thing is, like, I understand, like, when it comes to Luffy, his, like, gears are kind of, like, time sort of thing. Like, they're kind of, like, time limited. It's just that, like, at the time, I was, like, there going, like, I don't understand how, like, Luffy's, like, he can go against, like, Doflamingo, who can turn, literally, like, the environment around him into string that can, like, tear him up from every perceivable, like, angle. So then suddenly, like, goes against a biscuit guy who's literally food that like he's just struggling to go against. There was also like a debate I had with Boca with not necessarily the biscuit guy, but it was about like you know the I don't know if he's canon or not. The guy that turns himself into what it's called. It's like rice dough sweet thing. Mochi. Um, Basically, I was having like a question for like Boca of like when it comes to if you ate a mochi user's mochi, would it like what kind of flavor would the mochi have? But I was thinking there like would a mochi made by a mochi user taste like pork because humans taste like pork, or would it be like very bland? Like, is it just gonna be flavorless? But I could have sworn I saw it in like different colors. I think in some things, something like that. I don't know if it's like he's actually canon character or not. I don't know if he was a canon character or if he was like something else. I think he probably is involved in the mother, like the you know like the current arc I'm looking in, like what I'm currently on, I'd guess. But like, I was like there thinking about it, right? And I was there going like, to be honest, like what flavor? Biggest. But then I didn't know if like he was actually like lore wise, or if he was like a non-canon character. 'Cause I know there's like some characters where like, for example, it's like, I think I hear enemies near me. I can't really. quickly. It's one of those things that I couldn't tell exactly. On just gonna yoink that as well, so I can use that up. But it's just like when it comes to like not specifically just him, but like devil fruit users that have literally become like food. Like, would it be like based off stuff they've eaten? But also, would it matter based off what kind of like? Obviously, you get like there's like three different types of devil fruit. Obviously, you're not going to get like a Zoan. Well, actually, I guess like technically, if you had like a Zoan user turn into a chicken or something and they died, what would the chicken taste like? Like, would the if someone like turned into a chicken, they got like eaten alive, or like cooked, right? The question is like, what happens to the Zoan user? Like, what do they turn into? Turn myself around again. You see, like, I'm very special, and those are the kind of questions I ask myself when it comes to the One Piece series. That, and also, like, I'm kind of curious about what some of the awakened abilities for certain fruits would like look like. Because, like, I never thought the idea of like the devil fruit having stages, right? Until like Doflamingo. That was me. My vehicle's over here. Like, cause I was wondering if like, well, someone said to me like when it comes to like the human fruit, for example, that someone would just become more human. Is what someone said to me. Uh, Storage. The thing is, like, I'm like wondering, do I stay longer to get more loot? Let's also put this in as well. Value. I don't think it matters too much on, I guess, the size. Oh, and that's that thing. One thing I'm curious about is when it comes to this, if I were to do recovery, and I don't think I can do that. I think I do have to drive that back. Hopefully I can, rather than like me spending all this time to do that and then like find out I can't. Actually, there was something I've been wanting to do. With Liz did it for me like the last two times I've been to her channel. But things like I keep forgetting to do about it back. Da, 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 da. I keep on forgetting to do this. So it's I tend to forget about shout outs unless like someone like reminded me. But it's like the last few times I've gone into like Liz's chat, she's like giving me a shout out as soon as like I've messaged something in there. But I think it's only like fair that I would sort of shout her out back as well. Main chef has a dough of fruit that turns objects into food. States the food made is bland. Well, I guess that would be so. If that's anything he touches, turns into food. That then gives me two different questions. One, when it comes to his devil fruit, right? Like, is that because of like the type of devil fruit it is? Like, instead of him, it coming from him, it's kind of he's turning objects into it. And B, like, what would the awakened version be like that? Would it literally just be that the awakened version is just regular food that you can like consume or something, like, that does actually contain flavor? And like, what's the limits on like what you can actually turn into food? Is like, could you touch like an elephant and turn that into like a burger, or could you like touch like a M140 and then just turn that into a burger? Like, does the original item have to be in general edible? And also, what happens when like they? So I imagine, right, if it's from a user's ability, what about if they were just suddenly like make it back into its regular object? Like for example, you're going to eat like a burger, and it just gets turned into a rock as you're like biting down on it. Or what about if it's like a grenade, and like you go to take a bite, and then it turns into a grenade which explodes? Oh, it's like limited to whoever he cuts. The thing is, like, imagine that being like strong and I can't undo it. I was gonna say like that actually would be kind of based if he could. The idea of like, for example, you setting off some things that look like just regular food, and then it just becomes like a steel pillar the moment they put it in their mouth. Like that would make you pretty like just like devastating. If you wanted to cause like destruction, for example, like you in a building, you could just stuff like a bunch of like food items, and then like turn it back into its original items, and then it would just cause like a kind of like not such an explosion, but it'd be like because like the amount of mass suddenly exploding from it. It'll go from like literally like a few like food items to suddenly like this like 3 times the space it's occupying. Also, I guess like that, yeah, and that is like in the case if you could undo it, or like if you had like control of, like how quickly it went like undid itself, and you make it so it goes from like, for example, like 1 millimeter size like thing to suddenly like the size of like a football field in like 2 seconds. I imagine the like expansion of that would be like just devastating, let alone the actual item. But there is like some times where I think like when it comes to like devil fruits, where the like way it's being used is just not that efficient. Like some people with like their abilities is just like, yeah, it's not that great. I remember there was, I don't know if he's canon or not. There was one guy I remember had like the ability to slow things down by like a little bit, or like I can't remember if it was like by a little bit, or like what the limitations to it was. But I remember like him freezing. I want to say it was like, I'm not 100% sure. I think he was like slowing down Luffy at one point. And like the idea of like, if you had the ability to slow down your opponent to like a massive degree, like any kind of like sort of fighting between the two, like, the only way you'd lose is if, for a case like with Doflamingo, for example, you could turn the whole environment around you into a death trap. So I don't know. It's just like there's like certain abilities where I feel like they could go like harder. But it's also, there's like, I know there's different levels as well. Like you have the guy from Baroque Works that had like the ability to turn into a sword, and then you have like sort of later that girl that can just turn into like any weapons, like sword, gun, bomb, nuke. Yeah. It's like stuff like that. The thing is, like, when it comes to One Piece as well, it's like with how the author is, he could sometimes just decide to, like make it just not what you think it is. Like the author can just decide out of nowhere to be like, oh no, especially like I heard that he's like it when people keep on bugging him about like questions. Like he'll just like I mean there was like a thing of where people were asking him to like draw like characters or something, and I remember like hearing that he just like made these like really disgusting looking characters. And it's like there you go, I made them. But people like asking to be like brought into like the I think it's like into the manga or something, and it's just like he just made them just like oh, oh. Like not even just like the manga, just like getting brought in like just having like him do like a picture of them. Like apparently he was like getting like, annoyed from people constantly coming to him, expecting him just to do stuff for them and stuff. I also remember, like, for example, I'm not sure if you remember it, like, when he did this thing where it was like he put underneath the ocean, like this like thing that's apparently what the One Piece is. For like those who want to know what the story is before the anime gets to it. Like I remember, like I saw that, and then like the thing I saw next to it was like a meme about how like there was a Reddit that was really trying to work out the location of where it got dumped and how deep it would have like gone down by. But like they'll look at the type of boat that was like, hmm, ooh. They'll look at the type of boat where that boat is from. Uh, they're like looking into stuff like the clouds and how the sun reflects off to work out like information. Like anything in like literally anything in the background they can find. They're like trying to like, use to find out where this thing was happening. It's like it reminds me of like before where I can't remember what his name was. Uh, you're on now. Um, it was it was like a white flag or something where this guy was like hiding it because people keep on taking the white flag. And you had like he was kind of just constantly in my head. I like got the tip of his name in my head. Um, I'm really struggling at his name. Oh, oh. I didn't know why I'm yawning so much. Had like quite a lot of sleep. He was like the one of the characters from like Holes, like the like movie. But I remember like he was hiding this like flag around. I think it was supposed to be about unity or something. But like the meme was that everyone was just like finding where this fucking flag was going, and then just like taking the flag down. It's like at first it was like on a regular pole in the middle of a field, and then someone found it like the next day and they took it down. And then it was like he put one flag on top of a building in England, and literally had like hired guards for it at one point or something, or like it did in this where this building was like hired to like keep the flag. I forget it's stolen. Hmm. And then you had like people were like trying to sort of get jobs as security for the building, so that they could grab the flag, or like people were looking into like climbing on top of the building next door and like jumping over to get the flag. And it's like it was all like it was like a white flag that he had like just on live stream. I don't know if he still has it on live stream or not. Uh, it was funny. Like, it was just literally him constantly trying to like save it, so then like obviously no one would destroy it and yeah, or like get rid of it. I just found it funny. It was just like I'm like blanking on a bunch of stuff now. Oh, No, why have you ordered so much? I mean, it's got, I mean, like mining diamonds. That's real. I got like a lot more copper than I was thinking that I'd want. The bait just dropped in that copper roll. To be honest, if I want copper, I'll go to the southern bit. There's a lot of copper all over the place there. God, I like was losing my track of train there. Basically, after it got stolen 2 times. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Uh, Basically, he left it inside one of his like houses. On live stream, there's like a house that he owned where he like had as like a summer home. He just like had it in that house with a camera on it 24/7. People worked out where it was, used like information, and they started like just sending like Domino's orders and stuff to the property. And that's as far as it went because like these people were crazy enough to try getting like jobs in like the building where the flag was like stationed before and stuff, but they weren't willing to break into a house. Oh god, pardon me. Like you had people like literally trying to work out how to like climb onto the building from the outside as well and stuff. And I think like in the end it was like someone climbed over from the other side of the building, grabbed it, and then like legged it. I don't know if they got caught or not at the end. I don't know. I feel like I yawned too much. Problem is, like, I need to drink more piss. Like yesterday, I got like a snack drawer. When it comes to like my family, that we like did things when I was younger. It's kind of like it was like first come first serve kind of thing. So you'd kind of fill your room up with a bunch of like sweet treats. Well, I've already had this on there. There's I got like I'm not sure if it's Frankie, but like on Twitch, I now have you on like one of my favorites. So when I sort of join into your like streams, for example, I tend to like have it constantly ask me about like shared chat. And I'm like, I'm not even live. Like I don't know why Twitch is like talking about shared chat when like I'm not live. Oh, because obviously your phone that you had before was broken. What phone are you replacing it with? There's like another guy in there. I assumed this guy was gonna hurt me more, but no. Either today or tomorrow. Yeah, I'm assuming with like, because your last phone looked like it was a pretty expensive one, so is that like a budget phone to like cover? Maybe like when I got words like stream up, and I got like I'll have like words or have stream up, and I'm playing Dune, right? Uh, I'll literally like hear gunfire or like the voices of like enemies, and I'll be in the middle of like nowhere, and I'll just be like, I'm like, oh shit, fuck, where are they? Where are they? Like, did I walk in front of the base or something? But I'm pretty like absent-minded while I'm like running across these like different locations. The thing is, like, I've had before where I've like fucked my phones before. I used to have like an iPhone 5C. Then I got no, it was when I had the iPhone 5, no, the iPhone 6. I had that one. Like, I went out drinking, smashed that one. I paid for it to get repaired. I went to my mum. My mum popped the screen out. Then my nephew needed a phone, so we repaired it. Gave it to him, and his sister threw it out a window because she thought it would survive. It didn't. Or I had like before this one like BlackBerry. If in case any of I don't even know if any of you are actually young enough to like Frankie maybe to know what BlackBerry is. I remember I had like a BlackBerry touchscreen. This is where phones were going from having like buttons to having touchscreen. And I remember like uh, it was like I had it in my like school trousers. They went in for a wash, and it came out, and then I basically was trying to dry it out. I put it into like a tub of rice. The phone started to kind of work, but then it was just kind of fucked. And then I went on eBay, bought this other phone that was like a kind of sliding keyboard, another old phone. And I remember like it came with water damage, which was ironic seeing how like my last phone literally had water damage. I never thought about taking it to a repair shop. Then again, with it being water damage, I doubt like it would have gone well. Well, I was thinking then when I had the iPhone, I think it's 5C or iPhone, yeah, I think it's 5C. Um, I wanted it because the phone could be a bunch of colors. I ended up getting like the baby blue or the like blue like color, and I remember like I literally had it fall out my pocket when I was walking back from school, and like the whole screen just shattered. And then it's like when I had my Samsung Galaxy 8, which I now give to my mum, uh, best of so I got basically someone decided to smash her phone, so I gave him my phone as my backup phone. Now I got a different backup phone. Um, it was like uh, when it came to like that phone, I woke up one day with my phone in my hand. I fell asleep with it. I jumped up and threw my phone across the room, like the Samsung Galaxy 8, and literally like smacked the ceiling, smacked the wall, and then slid back to me. And it's like for 2 seconds the phone wouldn't turn on, and then it turned on. It's part of the reason why I prefer like Samsung phones because they've always been more durable for me. It's like when I had the iPhone 6, there was like talks about how if you put this in your back pocket, then you're gonna like fold your phone or you're gonna break it. With how the phone's made out of super light material, if you have it in your regular pocket, it's gonna eventually pop the screen out. Like, technically speaking, the iPhone 6 did eventually have its screen pop out, but that was like years later. So I'm not really sure I could blame that on Apple, to be honest. It's just that we noticed like the screen was like slowly coming out of like the sort of body of it. It's kind of like when I see like people do phone tests now, and it's like drink some piss, where they literally just started like twisting the phone, like really trying to fuck it up. They'll like put a phone in some like boiling hot water and be like, see now this proves that this phone couldn't survive temperatures of 130 degrees. I'm like, I can't, well, it'll be like 100 degrees. But it's just, I'm like, I'm not there going like, So it's like, who in their right mind is getting their phone, putting it in boiling water, and go like, oh shit, my phone's not working now. They're the same people that like, so for example, sort of like hit their phone with a hammer and they go, oh, my phone screen is smashed. If only it was a stronger glass. It's like, well, maybe if you didn't, like, you know. I remember like when you used to get like on YouTube like a lot of those like phone test ones where like I'm gonna drop this phone off of like a 5-story building and we're gonna see about if it survives at the end. And it's just like, I don't know if you know this about phones. They aren't typically put that kind of G-force, to be honest, with you. They don't tend to go from 0 to. Well, like, and some of them where I remember, like, there was this one guy where, like, there's like, when it came to testing phones, I saw it in the two sense of one of people actually trying to be helpful and like make you knowledgeable, and others where like they're just kind of like, yeah. As in, like, the ones that knowledgeable literally have like a testing kit to sort of see what quality the glass is and see that person in the corner. I've got healing stuff, so if you would like to come out. Like, I think I might just go back now because I haven't got any healing stuff, and if I do die, it's not going to be great. Like, small piss. Yeah, so what I do, like, the thing is, I kind of now wish I left my thing closer to this side, 'cause that's closer to my base. But I'm gonna now have to drive this further. I have a common. But, like, what's the studying for you when it comes to like stats? Obviously, I don't know what like UMB we got. Obviously, I know UMB have currently got like different exams. Obviously, like I understand different sort of subjects and also different like levels, right? There's like a lot of the time when it came to me in school, it was kind of like you would have your you'd kind of like do coursework in between, and you were there kind of like studying at the same time for any big exams coming up. Which is like when I was in school, it was like the test was a big chunk of your grade. So, well, I say people study, I wouldn't. Uh, like I literally at the end of my school year, like when I finished school, I remember me and my friends all being like the bottom set in like most subjects, right? We were literally just kind of like looking at our sort of coursework and our grades at the end, and we were basically just joking about like who had the lowest grades. Like that was like what we did. We were getting our grades, we were just like joking like who got like the worst score. It's like I had 1U in RE, or religious education. I was an atheist growing up and still am. Something is like, um, I kind of was just like, didn't know why I had to care. There's like how I sort of viewed it. So I got a U. What U basically just means didn't try. And then it was like, I think I had English, it was either an F or a G. Uh, well, not great scores or anything. 59. It's like part of me is just like they're going like, oh, maybe I should grab some more stuff. I'm like, nah. Comedy, Chris, Toby Quinn. Yeah. I need to work out where I get more of that. Now, this is where the problem's gonna kick in. But I hope this can make it to my base. And if not make it to my base on some land that's close enough to it. But I might have to like sacrifice a sand bike trying to get my loot. I heard that the sats are multiple choice, but when it came to us, in the UK, it is kind of like it wasn't multiple choice stuff. It was kind of like, good. Oh, that fell. Uh, Shoot me. Really bad time to shoot me. A really bad time for that before my desk. Um, Even if I have to crash land this. And also, when it comes to this, I would like it to reconstruct it completely. But right now, technically, Wah is the owner. I'm co-owner, and more likely he could just take me off if he wanted to. Don't go towards the south. At least at this point, enough to worry about it crashing suddenly. Problem is, my welding tool is not good enough, and to make a better welding tool wouldn't really work because it's like I would have to do quite a lot. Hi, Levin. Like on the ground, being like they're going like, uh, um, uh, you won't throw any coffee on me, I swear. I left Merc's tea alone. It's 4 hours long, and you have to ask for your test to be paused when you go to the bathroom. Being sent. Uh, I can't help it if the couch uh you see like well offset. Uh, 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 as we know, the couch was asking for it. So don't quite take that ball there. Like uh, with the sofa, just like me there going like, well, you asked me this the sofa it like it was it was 69. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I'm just saying, like the sofa, like was kind of like asking for it. I had to stare BB in the eye at the time. I had to make sure like BB would sort of see what I see. I didn't realize this has a weight limit to it as well. Or the cheese in between. I can promise you, like, the sofa was lit clean. I made sure to eat that sofa out. I probably should. Was it blood? She smacked my head. I can promise you I will like me in the in front of court just being like, we heard you eat out the sofa. We heard you made sure there was like eye contact unbroken between you and another member. It's just like no, that this is all it's a conspiracy, I swear. Uh there's no witnesses. It's just like there's like a gunshot going off in this background. Well, I was thinking, when you messaged me before, I was there going like, I was trying to think of like ways around it, and I was there going like, I was like searching up of where I stream to like Kick and Twitch. 'Cause I know like Coco's also started streaming to Kick as well. I was searching up, and apparently Kick's not banned in Russia. But like, I was like thinking like that would be like one way around it. I was like, let's try it out. I understand the feeling. I have it in a few hours. It's gonna be like feeding time for the cats, and they're gonna literally like be all over me. Oh, so I just multi-stream just for like for me it was like for having like more places my stream would be. Because it's like with my signal, not proven by a high lag spike there. Um, I was like searching up, and I can technically stream over to more than just YouTube and Kick. I can technically stream onto like YouTube, Kick, Twitch, um, and I could still have like some bandwidth left to like stream somewhere else as well. The only thing though is like I don't want to. It's like the problem with having more than one like stream going on is there is like times, for example, where like I'll get something on the Kick side, and like if I use my model, it won't show Kick messages because it's only linked to Twitch. But also, it's like I haven't got like a multi chat that groups everyone together. I tend to like have. I was like debating having like a chat box or something uh, in general. But I wasn't like too sure. It's like the main reason for like my streaming at the time was like I was trying to get some more people. There was one point where I was like streaming at sort of at the same time. I was streaming to Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and there was like a D Live service, and there was this other one as well. The D Live one actually sent me an email recently saying that they're actually shutting down. Also, I'm Schroeder. Are they like playing with your feet? Mine don't do that one as often. When my sister had my other sister had cats. hers used to do that. But he's like, especially depending on what, I had like laces on, and I remember one time like them trying to play like the laces on my shoe. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot like the reason why I wanted to. So I got 46 research points. It was not for that one. It was this one. A comic. So I need some more of this. For now, I'm gonna craft. Oh, actually, I'll just do max. I'll just do the max of that. Oh my! I have Mickey does that quite a lot. Love the thing is like obviously you had like when it comes to Shizu, right? Like I was like trying to work out with like I've seen her go on to just repair my stuff quickly. And like take out some resources, but I need to do this. I can't repair that one. Yeah, like I was like thinking of I've seen Shizu. Oh, thank God I have this ability now. And also, let me just quickly switch my infantry around. I want that in there. I'm trying to get rid of some of these bits because they take up infantry space. I wish I could do something for you, like sadly I like. The only thing I wonder is I was like wondering about like how like Shizu's able to like do stuff right, but I'm like they're going like I know that Shizu already has like a VPN. Cause that cause when you told me about it, I googled about well let's say Google I went on Gemini and was like asking about like if anything can be done. Gemini just said to me like, oh, the only solution currently is like to get really expensive like really high quality VPNs, and I'm like, I don't know if I was like there again, like I don't know if like Lurven can do that because it's one of those things of like, uh, sort of similar like when it comes to the UK, like they're talking about the idea of banning VPNs, which to be honest, like I hate the fact that governments are deciding like, oh well, we don't want people to break our firewall, and then like they try using like all kind of things like, oh, it's for this, it's for that, and it's just like. Oh really? I mean, something I did was when they started talking about here about banning like VPNs. I basically downloaded like some on my phone and stuff, on my phone, like on my computer. Like there's like on my phone, I got one that's like an open source like VPN thing. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I was thinking at the time like, oh, I can like hopefully use this to like, yeah, just so then like in case something does, like happen with the UK, that I could still actually be able to see stuff. It's just like it's one of those things that I kind of wish I could do like more, but it's just like it's not really like something I'm able to help with. But obviously, it's a bit of a shame because obviously, like if it was a thing of uh, like, it would be nice if like it was, but there's like not really like an easy solution. I remember I saw I was like Mudaha was saying about how like he was like talking about like a way of like doing essentially like a kind of like your own VPN. That the problem is that like it wouldn't be a good VPN. It would be like pretty bad. Like the thing is like sadly for sort of stuff like there's only like one solution and it's like it's not no solution kind of we can, the thing is I wonder like how many more countries are going to end up like sort of doing stuff like that. It's actually really scary to think about. Especially is like you get more and more companies talking about, oh, not companies, like countries, like talking about how it's like they need it to like check the safety of people and make sure no one's being like um, you know like abused or taken advantage of, and it's just like I'm not sure if like at this point like who's taking advantage of what. 'Cause it feels like governments are taking more advantage than anything. I know, no, it's not going to do what I want it to do. It kind of reminds me of like, for example, like, well, I believe 11 and Shizu live together, like, not together, but like in the same country. So I also don't know like how laws are made there as well. I don't know if it's like a shared thing or if it like, that is, and if there's like more like local law or something in some areas. like trying to move this stuff around to the thing is like when I see Ham and like where like playing, they're constantly trying to make their place look better. I can't promise to do that. He's like, I was like talking, well, not talking. I was in, did you know, like, I was in Waz chat earlier. They were talking about, like D&D stuff. Oh, apparently, um, so like, Ham and Wah both do, like, D&D stuff. I don't know if like, it's one-offs or nothing, but, they mentioned about it. I forgot there was something about this. Stone. Before I leave, let's make sure if I need to get like resources, let's at least have steel being made. Carbon.
Sector
So,
weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I was gonna go out to get some resources and to make like pillars to make it look nicer. Uh, who knows this? Like, don't know where I get the rate amplifier. And also, I have to make a survival thing as well. Oh, so I can go. Oh, okay, I didn't realize I can go further. Um, structural wall net. Wait, I need steel, and I need complex machinery. Only problem though is that I'm not exactly sure where I get complex machinery.